I definitely can't imagine holding it in my other hand. That would be...
And sometimes you might want to.
I don't know.
But I typically like it this way.
For me, if he were to get stupid, it would be too hard for me to figure out which one directed next to his face.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid of dropping the wrong one and just him being gone.
Yeah. And like it kind of depends too, like if you want to have a long, like I had him really long because I wanted him behind me.
Yeah.
So then you may want the whole thing in that one hand.
Yeah.
And just let the excess drop, be hanging.
Yeah.
But it is a personal preference. It's just, some people also take it and they drape it over the front of their saddle and put the tail of it under the breast collar. Just under, so it's not attached.
Yeah.
So if they pull, it can slide out. That's another way a lot of people will do it. So that way you don't have it in two hands like that.
Yeah.
And then to switch directions, a lot of times you can either have him go behind you or you can pivot his lead over her head. A lot of people like to do it the way you just did it. And again, it depends on like if you're on the trail and you have an obstacle or if there's something happening. Or if you need to keep them close. You know, there's different times you do it different ways. So you teach them every way to do it just in case. Yeah, and then your pony horse, like her, gets used to, sometimes the rope will go over their head.
Yeah.
That's how I did it yesterday. Remember, I just put it over her head and I turned her? Yeah.
I'm just so not used to her trot.
I love her trot.
I'm just so used to too hot.
Yeah. But this is the joy of riding different horses.
That's why I like riding horses.
It's because then you don't get set on one thing.
Exactly, yeah. That's why like riding with Sarah has been really good because all of her horses are like astronomically different.
Yeah.
As far as how they feel. Like Ninja's walk is more like too hot. Her canter is like, I don't even know, I can't even describe how her canter is. Weird.
Yeah. And do some figure eights, like square ones, so you can do turns. That way you can get the feel of having him move around you. There you go. He's like, Mom, there's a handsome man in that glass over there.
I know, right? I don't know which one I like more, Talac. I might have to make a decision. Space.
There you go.
It's funny, she feels him hesitate and she stops.
That's a good pony horse. But if you give legs, she'll go.
Yeah.
That's why I want you to ride her when we do this.
Yeah.
Especially when you're ponying him.
Or since I'm not used to riding her either.
Yeah.
He seems to understand changing sides too.
Yeah. He's pretty much good with whatever now that he's figured out what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And I honestly think he likes the company.
I think he does too. Like honestly, like he's a horse who seems to like any person and any other horse.
Yeah.
Like, he's just very social, which I appreciate.
And when they get too close like that, I tend to take the back side of my hand and bump this, either their eye or their jaw.
Okay.
So that way they learn that if their head gets too close to me like that, they're going to get a bump.
Oh, you want to go behind? So that's what I thought you wanted. He was like, oh shit, we're turning.
Good fix.
He cut him off. I know. He did like, come on. There you go, good boy.
Now ask him to back up.
That's exactly what I was about to do.
Oh. It's amazing how many people teach their horses to pony, but they don't ever teach them to back on a pony line.
Well, you would. What if you get stuck somewhere and that's your only option is to back up?
I know, right?
I like that you told me that literally, like, that was my thought. I was like, you know what? It's the perfect chance to back up.
I know, right? And a lot of times when I do that, unless I have him behind me, I'll actually have his head at my shoulder,
Yeah.
and I'll have my hand right under their jaw, so I have direct, short contact.
I know, it's weird.
There, good job.
Good boy. Good boy. You're such a rock star.
As soon as you walk away, ask him to put it away.
After the what?
He's dropping.
Put it away.
It's going away. I don't know if he needs to pee or if he's thinking.
Yeah,
I think he needs to pee.
probably.
But he's got to learn he can't do that when you're being ponied.
Yeah. An audience? No. Ew.
No rats. No rats. Good job. We like you being our audience instead.
Good boy, Talac. I'm going to try it back from the other side.
No, that gets you entangled. So what I do is back her up a step, and then rotate her butt to the left. Yep. Otherwise, if you start reaching up like that and all hell breaks loose, you're getting in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, so you use your pony horse's body to switch it that way. See- Yeah. But if you throw the rope like around the front of her and then you try to bring him around, you get stuck, especially out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or if she were to go forward, it would catch the rope.
And you lose him and you're on some open trail and he runs out on the highway. Yeah. You always have the rope with nothing between you and him if you can avoid it.
Stop putting it left. That guy's crazy. He doesn't know how to do it from the side.
So put him on the wall. Put him between you and the wall.
I think it's because he's not used to being back from his right.
Yeah, and it could be. That's fine. So use your wall as your friend. So walk like halfway down and then ask him to back a few strides. That way you're setting him up for success. There you go. I use the word. That's good.
I'm going to have to practice back home on the ground anyway because I have to do that for the 6 feet on the ground test.
Yeah.
That and I would just like to be able to do anything on the side.
Well, yeah, you need to be able to do everything from both sides anyway. So when I first start training this way, when they're on the off side like that, I don't know why, but a lot of people try to do it out in the open and they don't use the walls. If you have an arena with walls, use your walls. Your walls are your friend because then you can manipulate the other side of the body without actually having to reprimand them. Yeah. Then they figure out what you're asking, and then you can do it away from the wall. Yeah. Let them figure out what you're asking first. Set them up for success and failure later. And always use your word. Good. Good.
Don't lean on the wall.
Back her up more with you.
There. There. He feels like she's sandwiching him. I think it's because it was on the incline. He was like, I don't really know where to go.
Yeah, no, it's fine. He has to, because you may have that out in the real world too. Yeah. So he's got to figure it out. But yeah, I always use my walls when I first teach him on the offside, even if I'm on the ground. Grab by his, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I think so. I think that's fine. Only everybody that I'm live broadcasting to.
Yeah.
Quebec is calling you.
Quebec?
Quebec. I denied it, and you're recording.